After the Stranger Things Season 5 date announcement teaser, is anyone safe? Let's reevaluate. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today, I've got a fun Stranger Things Season 5 tier list, as I'm taking a tier list I made back in January of this year and applying it, tweaking it to be all about the recent teaser footage that we got at Netflix's To Doom. Every character that's showcased or shown in the background of shots in this teaser footage is going to be on the tier list, and I've got 5 tiers that I'm divvying them up into based on how likely they are to survive in the final season. And again, I'm just talking about characters we saw in this footage, and I'm assessing it through what we've seen. So I've got some new information about these characters. Before I get into this though, be sure to hit that like button, comment down below what tiers you would put these characters in, and most importantly, fill out your own tier and share it with me. Screenshot your tier list, tag me on Instagram, I'll put it on my story, and the link to fill out your own version of this tier is actually in the description of this video. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're watching, I'm assuming you're subscribed, but if you haven't, consider doing it. I post tons of movie reviews, rankings, Stranger Things updates, and tomorrow I'll have a Wicked for Good trailer reaction. But without further ado, I say we dive right in, and in the words of Eddie Munson, rest in peace, Chrissy, this tier list is for you. Alright, so the tiers I have are alive and well, should be safe, up in the air, not looking too good, and rip, meaning this person's probably going to be a goner based on what we've seen. Again, I've got 16 of the characters that we see in shots in this teaser footage or in the background of shots. Some of them are blurred, and I'll explain who they are there. But I'm not including characters like Jonathan or Nancy or Murray, who just weren't in the footage. Should that be concerning? That's a topic for another time. But we're just going to dive in. First up, we've got Joyce Byers, the mother herself. We first see her in this teaser footage talking to Will, letting Will know, I think about that night all the time, the night this all began. Obviously, that is the night that Will was taken to the Upside Down. We see her wielding an axe in this trailer, and then we cut to a shot of like the barn or shed door about to bust down, likely a Demogorgon or some other creature from the Upside Down. So automatically she's in peril, right? No one is truly safe, right? This is the final season, so they could kill whoever they want. After that footage, I'm kind of up in the air on Joyce's fate. I could totally see her coming to a point where she sacrifices herself to save Will. Will's been put through the ringer season 1, season 2. I mean, the whole series, he's never really had a moment of real peace. And so maybe Joyce sacrifices herself to let her son finally rest. It'd be tragic, but I have her up in the air because it's kind of like a coin toss, 50-50. Would they want to kill Winona Ryder off? That would be nuts. Could you imagine Joyce dying and then her 2 sons continuing the Byers family legacy? That would be crazy. It would also be completely devastating for Harbour, maybe more than anyone else because Jopper supremacy, but that would just crush me. And I don't want to see it, but I'm up in the air. I can't say with certainty. I mean, just the shot of her with that axe, like she's going to be putting herself on the line here, and I think most of these characters are. Next, we've got Lucas, who we see in this teaser for a glimpse. He is next to Max. This is going to be post-time jump, so in the fall of 1987, and he's still with Max, a healing Max. She no longer has her casts on, but she's still in a coma because she's in the hospital, so we don't know if she's gonna wake up, when she will, if she actually does wake up. If you look in the back of the shot, you'll see that, picture of them at their date at the movies that they didn't get to have quite yet. Hopefully they do. But when it comes to Lucas, I'm gonna say he should be safe. I think Lucas is gonna live through, and based on this footage, right, there's no reason for me to believe he's not. I feel like maybe even a lot of the season, he could be hanging back, protecting Max and just being with her, being, moral support while she recovers from this coma. So I'm going to say he should be safe for Lucas. I don't see anything that has him in harm's way too much as of right now. That could change as we get more footage. But again, after this teaser date announcement, I'm feeling like Lucas should be safe and ultimately go on to, live a long and happy life, hopefully, with Max. But we'll get to Max later. Next, we've got Dusty Bun, Dustin, Henderson. We get a shot of him and Steve in this teaser. The best duo in the show by a country mile, right? I'm going to say Dustin is, I want to say he's going to be alive and well. He's with Steve. Steve's always kind of putting himself in harm's way, but I feel like Steve would sacrifice himself for whatever could come after Dustin. I would say again that Dustin, to me, is gonna live. We saw Eddie die, and he's already gone through that traumatic experience. So to me, I feel like he's probably gonna be alive and well, and there's nothing that really indicates he shouldn't be. So I'm gonna say, even though his face looks a little beat up and bruised, and we've seen other shots of him in the behind the scenes teaser with some bruises on his face, I'm gonna go with alive and well for Dustin. I'm gonna put him up there right now. Yeah, he's gonna get into some craziness, but I think he might be the safest of all the main original kids based on this footage and just based on everything we've seen so far. Moving on, we've got Karen Wheeler, another mother of Stranger Things.
I didn't realize Nancy had a sister.
I got a weird feeling about Karen. You know, in the shot we see, it's her and Holly, and they're both looking at something horrific. Likely Vecna coming to take Holly, as we've all kind of put the pieces together that the second episode is going to be called The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. Does that mean that if Holly gets taken, Karen dies? Does it mean Karen gets severely injured? We could run wild with that, but I'll be real, things aren't looking too good for her. She is a killable character. Would it be dark as hell to take away the Wheeler's parents? Absolutely, but Ted and Karen could both go out together in this moment, and that would cement Vecna early on the season as a true force of evil, and he takes and kidnaps Holly. We also know, based on the vision that Vecna showed Nancy, things weren't looking too good for the Wheeler family, so I'm gonna say automatically not looking too good for Karen Wheeler. Next we got Steve, the Harrington, the lovable man he is. What a delight Steve Harrington is, right? I mean, how could you not love him? He's like 1A, 1B. I've said this forever. Hopper and Steve, they're my 1 and 2, and they always will be. So when it comes to Steve, based on this footage, I don't think there's anything that's too alarming. The thing with Steve that I've always said is he can never be 100% safe because of how often he's willing to put his body on the line for those around him. He's always the first to jump in harm's way. He's got like this Captain America, Superman persona in a sense, where he's like, no, I'm gonna protect you guys, like, you go, I'll be the first to dive down through the gate at Lover's Lake, like, I'm always gonna be the one to step in front. He's always the babysitter. So I wouldn't say not looking too good based on what we've seen. I would say up in the air, because he's with Dustin. They are clearly in an environment in the Upside Down, or where the Upside Down is sort of meshed into Hawkins. And so to me, if harm presents itself with this duo and they're the only two characters in a scene, Steve's going to do everything in his power to protect Dustin. So I'm going to say up in the air. I would feel more comfortable in Joyce living over Steve right now. So Steve's up in the air, based again on what we've seen, but he's always going to sacrifice himself or put himself in harm's way for those around him. Next, we've got 11, and based on what we've seen, I think it's quite like the scene itself we see of the alarms going off. This is the biggest blaring alarm, like code red. She is a goner based on the footage we've seen. She is writhing in pain, covering her ears. It seems like Vecna is potentially playing some mind games on her and is inside of her head. Maybe she also has a vision of what's to come, but she also could have just witnessed something truly horrific. Hopper's next to her. We'll talk about Hopper in a second, and he's like comforting her, trying to get her to calm down. To me, I'm just gonna go out and say it, rip. Based on what I've seen, rip. I mean, boom, I gotta put her right there. We also have this shot of Hopper and 11 at this wall, which is gonna be associated with some huge lore reveal of the Upside Down very clearly. I talk a lot about that in my trailer breakdown that you guys can check out, linked up above. But when it comes to this footage, I just don't see a world where 11 lives. She's gonna be going toe-to-toe with Vecna here. She's going to have to overexert herself at some point, probably, to put an end to the Upside Down in order to have things right side up. The finale of this season and this series is called The Right Side Up. All signs are kind of pointing to her being the one to go, and it would be full circle for her character arc. Do I want to see her go? Absolutely not. But based on what we've seen, kind of like those red alarms flashing in the scene, I'm not feeling too good. I'm thinking we're going to have to say goodbye to 11, just based on the quick glimpses we've got of season 5. Moving on, we've got Erica Sinclair. That's Erica. I know it looks like some blurry, out of focus shot, but it's Erica. She's behind Joyce in that shot we see of Joyce wielding the axe in the farm location. We've also seen Erica wearing this outfit you can see from the purple in behind the scenes photos, and she's actually next to director Frank Darabont, who did The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. He's going to be directing an episode or 2 in this final season, and so I'm thrilled to see whatever he does, because that man is a legend. Anyway, though, when it comes to Erica, I'm going to say Erica's alive and well. Honestly, at the top, killing Erica would be really cruel, the youngest of the main kids. I'm going to say she's alive and well, and she's behind all these other characters who would be killed first before her. So Erica, you're safe. You're very safe. Moving on, we've got Mike Wheeler, who's kind of going the Steve Harrington route based on what we've seen. He's putting himself in harm's way, holding back, protecting fellow friends in Hawkins. We see that shot of him spreading his arms out, telling people to get back behind him. So I can't say with certainty that he's alive and well. He is the OG kid of the show, right? Essentially the main kid of season 1. So you would think on paper, oh, he should be safe. He should be alive and well. Can't say with certainty. I'm going to say up in the air for Mike. He's in some danger, some serious danger, it looks like. And what is going on in that scene? It looks like Vecna probably just massacred some soldiers. In the background, we see like some people laying down. If you look in the back, you see Joyce is holding an unconscious or injured Will. So he's definitely being the leader here in this scene and, you know, being the heart of the group in many ways, being a protector. So I'm going to say for Mike, at least based on that teaser, which is the whole point of this tier list, I'm looking at it through the lens of the footage we've seen. I'm going to go up in the air. I'm going to put him right in the middle. Because at least Joyce has an axe. He's defenseless in that shot. So I'm going to say middle of Up in the Air. And then next we've got Robin, who we also see in that barn shed setting. She's behind Joyce as well, so Joyce would be in front of her in the line of fire. I'm gonna say Robin should be safe. I'm gonna put Robin right here in that tier. I think Lucas might be a little safer, but even then, you know, Robin, she's at a location that's going to be under attack by some sort of force from the Upside Down, whether that's Vecna, whether it's a new creature, whether it's, you know, the Demodogs, the Demobats, the Demogorgon returning, whatever it may be. She should be safe, but I think I give the edge to Lucas because he might be with Max a lot of the season, and I feel like most of the harm is going to mentally come to Max. It's not going to be a physical threat that presents itself to her, at least until very late in the season. Next, we've got the man himself, Hopper, my favorite character in the show. Hopper is the father. He is the man. I love him. Love him to death. So much so that I want to put him in Alive and Well, just based on the notion that he's died technically, right? And then he came back. They basically gave us the feelings of him dying without killing him. But when it comes to what we've seen, he's right there with 11. I feel like 11 is going to do everything in her power to protect him. As much as he wants to protect those around him, 11 is the most powerful character in the show, arguably. So she's going to be able to protect him. I still think it's up in the air for Hopper. He's in this military base that's evidently going to be under attack. He's right next to 11, so he's in harm's way. Could he sacrifice himself for his daughter and not lose another daughter? Because he's already lost Sarah. I mean, it'd be devastating to see him have to lose 11, so you'd think he'd sacrifice himself for her, but I'm looking at this tier list. I go, you know what? I think I throw him in up in the air. I think that Joyce is safer than Hopper, so I'll put him like right here. But he's going to be in harm's way. No one's going to be completely safe this season for the most part, so him being with 11 scares me. That's all I'll say. Next, we got a new character in Derek, played by Jake Connolly, and from what I've seen recently, apparently Turnbow is his last name, so Derek Turnbow. Why does that sound familiar? The Turnbow Trap is the name of Season 5, Episode 3. So, the Turnbow family is probably going to have a pretty big role to play here. If you really dive into it, the Turnbow family could be the people who own that farm, because we see him at that farm location many times. So maybe the Turnbow Trap is luring some sort of creature to be at the Turnbow family farm. It's the Turnbow Trap. Just a quick theory. But anyway, when it comes to this character, I'll say alive and well. They wouldn't kill this new innocent kid, I don't think, unless they just wanted to introduce another new character and kill him, which we've seen them do plenty of times. I'm going to put him in alive and well, probably actually right next to Erica at the top. Moving on, we've got Holly Wheeler, who is immediately in danger because she's going to get taken by Vecna. We've seen her with like this Henry Creel in human form. We've seen her in the behind the scenes teaser with her room flashing lights. We see her in this teaser being embraced by her mom as they look at something horrifying. So Holly Wheeler is in danger, and I'm going to say it's not looking too good. I don't think they're going to kill her, but again, based on what we've seen, I'm putting not looking too good. I think Karen would be the one to go first because motherly instinct is to protect your child, obviously, but Holly is not looking too good right now, especially if she's the one vanishing. Something sinister could be coming to the Wheeler family if Nancy's vision that was given to her by Vecna ends up coming true. Next, we've got two new characters whose names we don't know really. This girl from the shot of Mike protecting people and this dude. The girl has glasses. A lot of people thought she was Susie on initial viewing. And then the guy we don't know anything about. Again, these two characters should be alive and well. I don't think they're going to introduce these newbies and kill them. Killing them off wouldn't hold much value because they're such new characters. They're going to want to kill characters that have been around for a couple seasons to make the stakes feel felt. I'm going to go alive and well, pretty high. I'll go right here, actually at the top of alive and well with both of them, because they're so new and fresh to the picture that they're probably the safest, to be honest. But next we've got two characters who are in serious danger. That's why they're at the end of this video. We've got Max Mayfield, who we know has already died technically in the show, then came back and she's been in a coma since then. From what we've seen, she's still in a coma. I don't think they're gonna bring her back just to kill her. She's gonna serve a very pivotal role in taking down Vecna by the end of the season, even if that's the finale, the first time we see her awake. But as of right now, I would say that she'll probably wake up mid to end of Volume 1 or even in the middle of Volume 2, but it won't be in the first episode and it won't be in the last. That's a pretty safe bet. I'm gonna say not looking too good right now just because she's still in a coma, so like by definition she's not looking too good, but she'll wake up. So I'm not gonna put her in outright rip. I'm gonna put her right here at the back because I think these two are in more imminent danger, whereas Max is kind of in the safety of the hospital in a coma, but something's probably going to go down there at some point. These two, from what we've seen, in more imminent danger. That's why they're above Max. But Max is never 100% safe. She's going to have that tie to Vecna. Vecna could even be using her as a vessel. But the last character on this list is Will Byers, who was in the money shot of this new footage we got. Will, initially, I'm like, they're probably not going to kill him. He might get killed. Straight up. I'm just going to say it. At the end of this footage, he's looking up just in absolute terror, screaming, blood-curdling scream at the top of his lungs, run. Who's he telling to run? What is he telling someone to run from? It's all horrifying to think about. I mean, Vecna could be coming for him. He's looking up. Maybe Vecna could get him. That's a thought I've had. I made a whole video on that. Check it out, linked up above. But also, we've seen him injured in footage. Joyce is holding him in more than one shot. So something's coming for this man. It could be a mental game. It could be physical. He is unwell. I think 11 of the two is more likely to die than Will, but I'm going to say both are in the RIP tier because they're both at the forefront, both in serious life-threatening danger, and both of them have the biggest connection to the Upside Down and Vecna. That's something that's going to be tied up, and we're going to wrap a bow on by the end of the season. So if that's going to go away, Vecna and the Upside Down, these two characters might have to go with it. So I'm going to put him in RIP, but I do think that of the two, 11 is the more likely to go. So they're both right there. Flip a coin. I'd be shocked if they both make it out alive. I think one of them is going to die, which will be devastating and most likely the saddest death in the entire show. But based on what we've seen, these two characters right here, 11 and Will, are going to have a serious connection, going to play a major role in taking down Vecna, and also very likely going to be the most in harm's way. But that does it for my tier list ranking of the Stranger Things Season 5 characters from the teaser trailer, based on how likely they are to survive. I thought this was a fun little twist on a tier list I've done before, and it's up to date because we've got all this new footage. I could do this again with each new teaser. I think it could be a fun type of thing to do. But what do you guys think? What are your predictions? What tiers would you place these characters in? Let me know down below, and of course, hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell, and if you want extra content from the world of Stranger Things to movies and TV shows in general, consider joining the Patreon community. Lots of fun stuff going on over there, including Stranger Things Rewind, a deep dive into every episode of the show leading up to Season 5. But that does it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. The support lately has been insane. I can't thank you all enough for showing up, showing support to these videos. Tomorrow, I've got a Wicked for Good trailer reaction. You're not going to want to miss that. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.